Good morning. I am Dr. Suwawagata Chowdhuri. I am working as an assistant professor in the School of Applied Science and Humanities of Haldia Institute of Technology. Today I am going to take a session on subject-verb agreement. So, what is subject-verb agreement? Subject-verb agreement refers to a grammatical concept that the subject of a sentence must align with the main verb of a sentence. To put it simply, singular subject requires singular verb, plural subject requires plural verb. Sometimes it happens that the writers lose track of the real subject of the sentence. So, there occurs the most common form of errors in English grammar. So, to avoid that kind of mistakes, we need to remember some basic rules. The first and foremost rule, the most basic rule: singular subjects require singular verb, plural subjects require plural verb. So, we all know that in case of third person and singular form, we use add or we add s or es to the main verb of the sentence. And in case of present perfect tense, we use has. In case of third person singular number. So, she never leaves without her phone. She is a singular subject. So, we add s with the main verb leave. She never leaves without her phone. They never get up early in the morning. They is a plural subject. So, we use plural verb. So, we don't add any s or es with the main verb of the sentence. Trains are being diverted since there had been an accident. Trains, the plural subject. So, the verb will also be plural. The most basic rule of subject-verb agreement. Now comes the subjects that are joined with and. Suppose two single subjects, but they are joined with the conjunction and. Then it will be treated as plural subject. For example, pineapple and pizza do not taste good together. Pineapple, pizza, two singular subjects, but they are joined with the conjunction and. So, the subject will be treated as plural. So, we will use a plural verb in the sentence. The scholar and the supervisor have gone to the seminar. The scholar and supervisor, two singular subject joined with conjunction and. So, this will be treated as plural subject. But there is also an exception to the rule. If the two subjects that are joined with and refer to the same idea, singular idea, or to the same person, then they will be treated as singular. The most common example is this: time and tide words for none. Here, time and tide, they are together. They refer to the same idea. So, it will be singular. The father and the caretaker of the infant is dead. So, father and caretaker of the infant, they are the same person. They refer to the same person. So, it will be the singular subject. Mr. and Mrs. Bhattacharya invites you to the wedding reception of their only son. So, Mr. Bhattacharya and Mrs. Bhattacharya, they refer to a single entity. They are inviting other as a singular entity. So, the subject will be singular. The next rule. Subjects joined with either or, neither nor. So, in case of this subjects joined with either or, neither nor, it can be either singular or plural. Depends on the second subject of the sentence. The second subject is closer to the verb. So, if the second subject is plural, the verb will be plural. If the second subject is singular, the verb will also be singular. For example, either you or your friends have done this. So, the second subject is your friends. It is plural. So, we have used have. Have is plural verb. So, plural subject, plural second subject, plural verb. So, neither he nor his cousin has attended the party. The second subject is his cousin. So, singular verb. So, the singular subject will require a singular verb. So, in case of either or, neither nor, the verb will align with the second subject, that is closer to the verb. This is a similar case with not only but also. So, the subjects that are joined with not only and but also, they are also in similar manner with the neither or, not either or. So, the subject here and the verb will be the second subject and the verb. So, the verb will agree with the second subject. Not only he, but also his relatives have come. So his relatives is the second subject that is closer to the verb. It is a plural subject, so it will require a plural verb, have. Not only you, but also your brother has been penalized. The second subject is your brother. So we have used singular verb here. Not only you, but also your brother has been penalized. So in case of either or, neither nor, in case of not only but also, the verb always aligns with the second subject of the sentence, that is closer to the verb. Now the subject joined with, as well as, together with, along with. In this case, the rule will be completely the opposite. In the previous case, we saw that the verb agrees with the second subject. But in this case, the subjects that are joined with, as well as, together with, along with, they align with the first subject of the sentence. If the first subject is singular, then the verb will be singular. If the first subject is plural, the verb will also be plural. So Aniket, along with his friends, has left the apartment. So the first subject is Aniket. So Aniket and it is along with his friends. So his friends is plural. But since the first subject is Aniket, the verb will align with the first subject. So Aniket along with his friends has left the apartment. The first subject is singular, so the verb will also be singular. You as well as your cousin are responsible. So you is the first subject, so the verb will align with the first subject. So you are responsible. You as well as your cousin are responsible. So these are the case of along with, together with. So indefinite pronouns. What are indefinite pronouns? Everybody, somebody, no one, nobody. So anyone, anybody, each one. So these are all indefinite pronouns. So in case of any indefinite pronoun, the verb will always be singular. So all indefinite pronouns are always treated as singular. So this is also one of the common errors in English, because when you see somebody, someone, somebody, everybody, so we tend to assume that they are plural subject, but this is not the case. Every indefinite pronouns are always singular. Everybody is busy nowadays. Someone has to know who is responsible. So in every cases, the verb will always be singular. Now comes collective nouns. Collective nouns can be both singular and plural. So those collective nouns that are treated as a single entity consisting of different members, they are singular. For example, city, state, company, committee, they consist of different members, but they are treated as singular entity. So it will be singular. The verb will be singular. But team members, company leaders, city officials, they are always plural. So the names also reflect its nature. So team members, company leaders, city officials will require a plural verb. Gerunds. Now what is gerunds? Gerunds are verb with ing that are treated as noun. They are called gerunds. So gerunds are generally singular. For example, swimming. Swim is a verb with ing, it becomes a gerund. Swimming is a sport that has taught me how to swim. Exercising regularly is essential for good health. So all gerunds, that is verb plus ing, that are treated as noun, they act as a subject in a sentence, they are treated as singular. So plural form subjects are often treated as singular. Plural form subject means like physics, mathematics, cultural studies. So they may appear as plural, but when they are treated as the title, as a subject, they are considered as singular. So it is also easier to mistake it as a plural, but they will be singular. For example, physics is an essential subject. Cultural studies is one of the emerging academic fields nowadays. So plural looking subjects, they are actually singular. Now plural title of the books. For example, Arabian Nights. Okay. It is also easier to mistake that these are plural subject since it's Arabian Nights, but it's the name of a single book, right? So plural looking book titles, they will consider as singular. This is a similar case with the countries. Countries that sounds like plural. For example, the United States of America. So if you see that it's states, so states means it's not plural. The United States of India. So subject is the United States. So it will be actually singular. So these are singular subjects that will require a singular verb. Then comes sentences starting with one of them. This is also one of the most common mistakes that we tend to make in English grammar. So the sentence that starts with one of the, they will always be singular, because no matter what is placed after one of the subject is one. So it will be singular. For example, Mr. Chaturvedi is one of the teachers who take remedial classes during free period. So Mr. Chaturvedi is one of the teachers. So if we mistake the teachers as the subject, so we will give it a plural verb, but the subject is one of many teachers. So it will always be singular. So any sentence that starts with one of the will require a singular verb. There are some other examples, some exceptions to the rule. For example, some nouns and pronouns, they are plural but they have singular meaning, and vice versa. For example, news, arms. These words, they look plural but they are treated as singular. For example, news. Fake news spreads first. So even if it looks plural, this type of words, they are treated as singular. So fake news spreads first. A lot of. It is also easier to make mistakes in these cases. A lot of looks like a plural subject, right? But they are treated as singular when it is placed before any uncountable noun. For example, a lot of money has been spent on this team. So money is an uncountable noun. So a lot of has been placed before money. So it will be treated as singular. So a lot of, this word, when they are used before uncountable noun, they are treated as singular. Then comes a pair. A pair means two, right? But they are a pair. Okay, so they are treated as singular. So a pair of old jeans has treated me well. So a pair, a lot of, they are treated as singular, as is the case with news, arms, these types of subjects. They are treated as singular. Now we have covered subject-verb agreement. There is also a aligned topic, that is noun-pronoun agreement. So what is noun-pronoun agreement? Much like the verb must agree with the subject of the sentence, the pronoun must also agree with the noun of the sentence. So what is the work of pronoun? We use pronoun to replace or to refer back to the noun itself. So pronoun and noun must agree in number and in gender. So when we write a sentence, we use nouns. So if you use the same words again and again, it gets repetitive. It's not very nice to listen. So we use pronoun. But when we are using pronoun, when you are replacing a noun with a pronoun, we must remember the number and the gender of the noun to put the proper pronoun in place of the noun. Single noun, single pronoun. So the same case with the like subject verb. So when the noun is singular in number, the pronoun that is replacing the noun will also be singular. For example, the importance of the study is that the study may allow the researcher to understand the impact of common code in teaching. So the importance of this study is that this study. So it gets repetitive, right? So we can replace the noun study with a pronoun. So since it's a single noun, so what we will do? The importance of the study is that it may allow the researcher to understand the impact of the common code on teaching. So we must have to remember the number and the gender. So study will be replaced by it. Again, so just like in case of subject verb, we have to identify what is the true noun of the subject of the sentence, so that we can put the proper pronoun. For example, a community group of teachers met to see if it could find a way to help the students improve their communication skill. So, what is the subject of what is the noun? The subject. A community group of teachers, not teachers. So, the noun is a community group. So, it will be replaced with it, not they, because the subject noun is not teachers. It is a community group. So, the pronoun it will be replaced. It will replace the community group of teachers. Just like singular noun, singular pronoun, plural noun will require a plural pronoun. For example, when participants arrived for the interview, participants needed help finding the correct location. So, we are using participants in both cases. So, it gets repetitive. So, we can replace the noun participants with the pronoun. Since it's a plural noun, we will have to use a plural pronoun. So, what we will use? When participants arrived for the interview, they needed help finding the correct location. So, plural noun and plural pronoun. Again, the identification of the true noun is necessary to use correct pronoun. I will give some examples. Like participant 3 stated that he hoped his students had reviewed their notes carefully. So, see, there are many nouns and many pronouns. For example, participant 3 is the first noun. So, the pronoun will be he. So, participant 3 stated that he hoped that his students had reviewed their notes carefully. So, this is a complex sentence. The first noun is singular. So, the first pronoun is also singular. Participant 3 and he. In case of second subject, the second subject is plural. His students had reviewed their notes carefully. So, single noun, single pronoun, plural noun and plural pronoun. Example 2. The supervisor and the employees disagreed about the time they should meet each other. So, the supervisor and the employee. So, we are referring to each one of them, right? So, they are plural noun. So, we have used a plural pronoun. The supervisor and the employees disagreed about the times they should meet each other. Another example. Both Samir and Priya believe their results would lead to social change. The subject is not only Samir, not only Priya, but both. Both is the subject. Both Samir and Priya believed their results would lead to social change. So, since the noun, the subject is both, it is plural. So, we will use their. Their results would lead to social change. But now pronouns are used to avoid repetition, right? But we have to keep in mind that there shouldn't be any ambiguity. Ambiguity means where we don't understand to which the pronoun is referring to. So, I'll give an example. The client and the vendor agreed that he would schedule the follow-up meeting. Now, the subject is both. We have two nouns, the client and the vendor. And we are using he. Who is he referring to? Is it the client or is it the vendor? So, in this case, we will avoid using any pronoun because it will create an ambiguity in the sentence while we won't be able to understand who is the pronoun actually referring to. So, the division will be the client and the vendor agreed that the vendor would schedule the follow-up meeting. So, we will use the noun only. We won't use any pronoun to avoid any ambiguity. So, while we are using pronoun, we will have to use it with discretion. Now, there is a very common, it's not common, but nowadays there is a movement that says that we have to keep in mind the non-binary people who don't identify themselves with a particular gender, okay, asexual, or even there are third sex. So we have to use inclusive phrase, okay. So APA means American Psychological Association. They recommend the singular use of the word they. So, like transgender people, gender non-conforming people, non-binary people. So they don't identify themselves with a particular gender. So it will be insensitive to use he or she or any gender-based pronoun to refer to them. So in this case, we can use the singular use of the word they. So we can use they as a singular pronoun. But this is a very modern trend, and this is recommended by APA only. So a teacher should carefully choose professional development opportunities that address his gaps of knowledge. Say the teacher is not a his, okay, or he is a non-binary, or whatever be the case, we can use their gaps in knowledge. So even if the noun is singular, a teacher, but we can use their to refer to the singular pronoun. So it is also recommended by the APA, American Psychological Association. So these are the basics of noun-pronoun agreement and the subject-verb agreement. So if we remember those basic rules, very easy rules, we can avoid the common errors that we tend to make while using the English grammar. So thank you so much for listening. So I will discuss in the next class the other forms of common errors like misplaced modifiers, dangling modifiers. So thank you.